There is a moment that every fan remembers. A single photograph, posted late on a Tuesday night, that broke the Turkish entertainment internet in half. No caption. No explanation. Just two people standing close enough that the silence between them said everything. Within hours, millions of people were asking the same question. What exactly is happening between Baris Arduc and Elcin Sangu? And here is the thing that makes this story so fascinating. It is not just about two incredibly successful actors who happen to share a screen. It is about what happens when two separate worlds collide, when chemistry refuses to stay inside the boundaries of a television set, and when the public watches something real unfold in real time, whether those involved want them to or not. So let us start at the very beginning. Because to understand where things stand today, you need to understand exactly who these two people are, what they built individually, and why the moment they entered each other's orbit, nothing was ever quite the same again. Baris Arduc did not arrive at fame quietly. He came in like a slow tide that eventually became a wave. Born in 1987 in Germany to Turkish parents, he moved to Turkey and studied at the Haliç University Faculty of Fine Arts. His early work was scattered across minor television appearances, the kind of roles that pay the bills but do not make history. Then came Medcezir, the Turkish adaptation of the OC, and suddenly the entire country knew his name. He played Kadir, a character layered with complexity, and viewers responded immediately. There was something about the way he occupied a scene. Still but electric. Quiet but impossible to ignore. Then came Baris Ask. Then came Siyah Beyaz Ask. Project after project, Baris built what very few actors in any country managed to build, a reputation for choosing roles that matter. He was not just handsome, though that helped. He had range. He could carry grief in his eyes without saying a single word. Audiences felt it. Directors trusted it. By the mid-2010s, he was not just popular. He was essential viewing. Elcin Sangu came from a different angle entirely. Born in 1985 in Ankara, she studied at Bilkent University and entered the entertainment world through modeling before transitioning to acting. Her breakthrough came with Kavak Yelleri, a series that captured an entire generation of Turkish youth and held their attention for years. She played Bade, a character so vivid and emotionally precise that fans genuinely struggled to separate the actress from the role. That is the rarest compliment in this industry. What defined Elcin from the start was intelligence. In interviews, she spoke thoughtfully. She was deliberate about the projects she chose, deliberate about how she presented herself publicly, and deeply private about her personal life. She had a quiet dignity that felt almost old-fashioned in an era of constant social media performance. People respected her for it. They also found her slightly mysterious, which only made them more curious. So you have two of Turkey's most respected actors. Two people known for emotional depth, serious craft, and careful public personas. And then they are cast together in Siyah Beyaz Ask, which translates as Black-White Love, a 2017 romantic drama series. And that is where this story truly begins. The premise of the show was simple on the surface. Two people from different worlds, complicated feelings, the kind of love story that Turkish drama has perfected over decades. But what happened on screen between Baris and Elcin was not simple at all. Critics noticed it. Viewers absolutely noticed it. There is a specific kind of on-screen chemistry that cannot be manufactured by good lighting or clever editing. It comes from two people who are genuinely, uncomfortably aware of each other. Every scene they shared had that quality. A glance that lasted half a second too long. A touch that felt spontaneous rather than scripted. Audiences were not just watching characters fall in love. They were watching something that felt disturbingly real. Ratings climbed. Social media exploded. Hashtags trended weekly. Fan pages dedicated to their fictional couple multiplied overnight. And slowly, inevitably, the question that always emerges in situations like this began circulating in every comment section and entertainment forum in Turkey. Was something real happening between them? At this point, it is important to be completely honest about what we know and what we do not. Because this is a story where speculation has sometimes moved faster than fact, and that matters when real people are involved. What is confirmed is this. During the filming of Siyah Beyaz Ask, both Baris and Elcin were navigating complex personal situations. Baris had been in a long-term relationship. Elcin was at a point in her personal life where she had become even more private than usual. Neither of them spoke publicly about the other in romantic terms during or immediately after filming. They were professional, measured, and consistent in keeping the conversation focused on the work. But then the show ended, and the silence between them changed. Here is where things get genuinely interesting. After Siyah Beyaz Ask concluded, fans expected the usual post-production fade. The two leads would move on to new projects, occasionally appear at the same industry events, and the chemistry that had electrified screens would become a fond memory. That is the typical arc. That is what usually happens. It did not happen here. Instead, there were small moments that the public could not quite explain away. A comment on a social media post that felt warmer than professional courtesy. A sighting at an event where the body language told a different story than the neutral quotes given to entertainment reporters. Nothing explicit. Nothing confirmed. Just a persistent accumulation of moments that refused to add up to nothing. Turkish entertainment media went into full investigation mode. And if you have ever followed Turkish celebrity gossip, you know that it operates at a level of intensity that makes Hollywood tabloids look restrained. Reporters tracked public appearances with forensic dedication. Fan accounts analyzed photographs with the seriousness of legal evidence. Every gesture was dissected. Every absence was noted. Every word in every interview was measured against what had been said before. Baris, to his credit, handled this with remarkable composure. In interviews, he consistently praised Elcin as a talented actress and professional collaborator. He acknowledged the chemistry that viewers responded to without feeding speculation. He was neither dismissive nor encouraging. He walked a very precise line. Elcin's responses were even more carefully calibrated. She spoke about the show's success with genuine warmth. She talked about the craft of the work. She gave gracious, intelligent interviews that revealed absolutely nothing personal. She was a master of the public statement that answers the question without answering the question. And somehow, the restraint from both of them made everyone more curious, not less. There is a psychology to this that is worth understanding. When celebrities confirm a romance, the public interest peaks quickly and then begins to normalize. The mystery dissolves. But when two people maintain a careful, dignified silence about something the public believes it can see, the curiosity does not dissolve. It compounds. Every non-answer becomes more interesting than an answer would have been. Baris and Elcin, whether intentionally or simply out of a genuine desire for privacy, created one of the most compelling open questions in Turkish entertainment. Then came the chapter that genuinely surprised people. In 2018, news emerged that Elcin Sangu had entered a relationship with Baris Yenilmez, a director and producer. And then, with remarkable speed by any standard, the relationship moved forward. They married in 2019. For fans who had spent years building theories about Elcin and Baris Arduc, this felt like a plot twist delivered without warning. Not scandalous. Not dramatic. Just quietly decisive. The public reaction was complicated. There was genuine happiness for Elcin from most quarters. She had always been a beloved figure, and fans who respected her dignity wanted her to be happy. But there was also an unmistakable collective exhale of a question that would now remain permanently unanswered. Whatever had or had not happened between her and Baris Arduc, that door now appeared closed. Baris Arduc, meanwhile, continued building one of the most successful acting careers in Turkish television history. His next major project brought him a new wave of fans and critical recognition. He made considered choices, avoided the kind of tabloid drama that can corrode a career, and maintained the quiet intensity that had made him compelling in the first place. He did not comment on Elcin's marriage. He did not need to. But here is where the story takes another turn, because this is not simply a narrative about two people and a romance that may or may not have happened. It is about something larger. It is about what celebrity chemistry does to an audience. About how we project our hopes onto real people and then have to reconcile those projections with actual human lives that do not follow our preferred scripts. Fans of Siyah Beyaz Ask did something remarkable in the years after the show ended. They kept the memory of Baris and Elcin's on-screen relationship alive with a dedication that bordered on extraordinary. Compilation videos racked up millions of views. Fan edits of their scenes continued circulating years after the show concluded. New viewers discovered the series and immediately fell into the same conversation that fans from 2017 were still having. Why did this feel so real? What was actually going on between these two people? Part of the answer lies in the quality of the performances themselves. Both Baris and Elcin are genuinely gifted actors, and when two gifted actors commit fully to a love story, the result can transcend the technical category of performance and feel like something witnessed rather than watched. That is a rare achievement. It is also, somewhat cruelly, the very thing that makes audiences blur the line between the characters and the people playing them. The other part of the answer is privacy itself. We live in an era where celebrities document nearly everything. Relationships are announced, celebrated, photographed, and eventually mourned publicly. The entire arc of a romance can unfold on Instagram before it is ever given time to become real. Against that backdrop, two people who maintained genuine privacy became fascinating precisely because they were private. They did not give the audience the story. And so the audience wrote it for them. What happened when both of them were spotted at the same industry event in 2022 should tell you everything about where things stood publicly. It was a routine professional occasion. Both were there in their capacity as successful actors at the top of their respective careers. They were photographed in the vicinity of each other. Within hours, the clips and photographs had spread across every platform where Turkish celebrity content lives. The analysis was immediate and intense. How did they stand? Did they speak? What did their expressions reveal? The honest answer, based on all available reporting, is that they were two professional colleagues at a professional event. But the honest answer was almost beside the point. What the reaction demonstrated was that the public fascination had not diminished with time. If anything, the years of silence had preserved it, like something sealed in amber, unchanged and still vivid. It is worth pausing here to consider what this story actually says about the two people at its center. Baris Arduc is, by every account from people who have worked with him, a serious and dedicated professional. He prepares deeply for roles. He is known for emotional availability in performance, which is a quality that cannot be faked and is often harder to sustain than pure technical skill. He made choices throughout his career that prioritized longevity over momentary attention. He could have fed the speculation machine that surrounded him and Elcin. He chose not to. That is a meaningful choice. Elcin Sangu is, by every account, a woman who has consistently defined her own terms. Her marriage, her subsequent public life, the projects she has chosen, all of it reflects someone who knows precisely who she is and refuses to be reshaped by public appetite. She became a mother, deepened her career, and moved through the world with the same quiet confidence that made her remarkable in the first place. She did not owe anyone an explanation for any chapter of her personal life. She never provided one. There is something genuinely admirable about that. And Baris Arduc, in the years since Siyah Beyaz Ask, has continued his own journey in ways that deserve recognition beyond the context of this particular story. His work has evolved. He has taken on projects that challenged him in new directions. He has remained one of the most followed and respected figures in Turkish entertainment not because of gossip or controversy, but because of craft. Which brings us to the present and to the question that this entire story eventually arrives at. What is really going on? The truthful answer, the only honest answer, is this. We do not know. We have never known. What happened privately between Baris Arduc and Elcin Sangu, if anything beyond professional respect and genuine on-screen chemistry, has never been confirmed by either of them. Everything that exists in the space between confirmed fact and public speculation is exactly that, speculation. What we do know is real, and it is genuinely worth discussing. We know that two remarkable actors created something on screen together that millions of people responded to with unusual depth. We know that both of them handled years of intense public scrutiny with uncommon grace and dignity. We know that Elcin Sangu built a life she clearly chose intentionally, and that by every visible indication brings her genuine fulfillment. We know that Baris Arduc continues to grow as an artist in ways that justify every bit of the serious reputation he has built. And we know that the story refuses to feel finished, not because of scandal or confirmed drama, but because of something more interesting. Because the chemistry was real. Because the performances were extraordinary. Because two people managed to create something on screen that touched something true in millions of viewers, and that kind of truth does not disappear just because a project concludes. There is a moment in Siyah Beyaz Ask that longtime fans of the show return to repeatedly. It is a scene that comes near the end of the series, when the characters have been through the full weight of what the story put them through. The dialogue is good but not extraordinary. The setting is simple. What makes the scene devastating is the way both actors inhabit the silence before the words. The camera is close. There is nowhere to hide. And neither of them hides. They meet the scene with everything they have, and the result is one of those rare television moments that justifies the entire medium. Whether that scene is purely performance or whether it drew from something more complicated and more personal is a question that will likely never be answered with certainty. And perhaps that is exactly as it should be. Some things belong to the people who lived them, not to the public that watched from a distance. What this story ultimately leaves us with is not a confirmed romance or a denied one. It is something more layered than that. It is a study in how two people with genuine talent navigated the kind of public fascination that can consume careers and private lives when mishandled. It is a reminder that the most compelling stories are not always the ones with clean resolutions. It is a testament to what great performances can do to an audience, how thoroughly they can blur the line between art and life. Baris Arduc is one of the most talented actors working in Turkish television. Elcin Sangu is one of the most quietly formidable presences in the same industry. They made something together that people are still talking about years later. That is legacy. That is achievement. Everything else is a conversation the public is having with itself, informed by projection as much as by fact. And the conversation, as any comment section on any Siyah Beyaz Ask video will tell you, is still very much ongoing. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.